Hi guys, it's Joey. This is going to be a VR to Emberhoneyraven's Witchy Tag questions. So before we get into that, I know it's been a while since I have been face to face on the camera with the strange voices, but basically hay fever has overran me this year and the heat. So I'm making basically an exception because I love Emberhoneyraven's channel. I think it's amazing. She's one of the few people who I can just watch and watch and watch and watch, which is fantastic, and I really wanted to do the VR. I thought it was interesting and some of the questions were a bit unusual, and I was like, yeah, let's get on that train. I don't know what this is. This is getting on the train. Don't ever get on a train like that. You'll probably get arrested. Okie dokie. So her questions. Number one, the biggest disaster, sort of witchy disaster, spell disaster. I don't recall any spell work ever going wrong. I studied for a long time before I started practicing, but I do have a tendency to burn things. I really enjoy firework, magic work, and I'm clumsy. And sometimes things that I think it's I put so much energy into things as well, I tend to burn, and to the point where I put things on trays. I have I'm not allowed the cauldron upstairs at the minute because all the trays are in use, but I have the trays and then the sort of little wire stands that you put in the oven, and more things like heat-proof layers. And it's a bit of a problem that I can't really cast outside because that's where I would usually do the candle, and well, not candle, but the cauldron work would be more outside. So I do have a tendency to burn things, and that's spell-wise. And I think Ember actually talked about like magical products and things. Like I don't think I've had any products that I really can't stand. I'm trying to think. I can't think of anything. And my hair is going to drive me nuts. I apologise if I'm faffing with my hair all the way through the video, but in summer if I don't dry my hair to like within an inch of its life, it goes like that. It's not even pretty. Question 2. Something you wish someone had told you when you were a new witch. Something I wish someone had told me. I don't know if it would have made a whole load of difference. I'm quite headstrong, and I was quite impressionable in the very beginning, and but I am quite strong-willed. I guess it's just not to listen to hate. I guess that, you know, that there are going to be people who, no matter what walk of life you're in, that are gonna like dump on you, and trust in yourself. I guess that's what if I had to give like one piece of advice to newbies and things, it would be like, trust yourself. Like, don't get a complete ego. You've got to still listen and learn and things, but trust yourself, I guess, would be what I would go with. Your biggest witchy pet peeve. I guess the biggest pet peeve I have is when people try and use their witchcraft to scare people. And it comes into my Morrigan practice because I see people who call her a dark goddess, which I don't really like. It's quite a big peeve. And they call her a dark goddess like it's this negative thing. And she's this dark, scary goddess, and she's a badass, and she's gonna kill you. I don't know what that's about, and I really don't like it. And I don't know why I became a zombie halfway through that. I have no idea. And I guess it's the idea that, you know, that because she's a primal female goddess, that somehow it sort of equates to evil and negativity, I guess, and I don't like that one bit. Question 4. When did you first know you were a witch? Well, I think I've always felt that I was a witch. I just didn't know what to phrase it. I've always felt strongly about certain things. I was seeing ghosts as long as I could remember when I was little, and I had very set feelings. Like I had set feelings about the 5 elements when I was quite young, and I was using a pendulum age 7 without being taught and things like that. It was just all very natural, and I can't remember if I ever had one defining moment where I started calling myself a witch more than anything else, but it's just part and parcel of who I've always been, I think. Best witchy books. So Emberhoneyraven had non-fiction and fiction. Now non-fiction, like Witchy Path type videos, easy. Oh, it's so good. It's so it's starting to fall to bits. So well leafed. This book helped bring me home. Stephanie Woodfield's Celtic Lore and Spellcraft of the Dark Goddess, Invoking the Morrigan. It's the book I recommend to anybody who is interested in the Morrigan or the Celtic Path in general, but it's mostly about the Morrigan. Some of this stuff was basically stuff that I'd always felt or been interested in, or it brought me home. And if I had to take one book with me for the rest of my life and couldn't take any more, that would be it. And then fiction, I was like, there are too many. Like, I'm a bookworm. I love books. I love the Harry Potter books. I love the Terry Pratchett Witches in his Discworld series. But I was thinking, okay, if I can't pick a favourite, so we'll go with the first ones that I ever read, and they were like witches and things, and that sort of spoke to me a little bit, and that was the Night World series. There's vampires and witches and shapeshifters, I think, and werewolves. Is that it? And they're based around the sort of soulmate principle, and it was the first time I'd ever really read about witches and things of that nature in that sort of slightly darker fantasy setting, and it was amazing, and I still got them. I think they were awesome. They're a little bit on the light side, on the silly side, but you know, they're still cool. Best witchy TV show or movie? Well, my favourite witchy movie is The Craft, the same as Ember. I haven't seen a movie before or since that spoke to me the same way. I wanted to be the woman that owned the shop. Like, growing up, that's who I wanted to be. Like, none of the others, the woman who owned the shop, that's who I wanted to be. But I really did adore that movie, and I think a lot of people who grew up around the same time as me, even if they won't admit it, love the movies like The Craft. And I think people tend not to say it because you get sort of accused of basing your path off that. And it's understandable. I understand why people are a little bit hesitant, but I think it's a great movie. It's got some realistic elements in it, but you know, not a whole lot. It's still Hollywood. And I guess, let's see, best TV show. Oh, excuse me. God, that's the heat. Well, right now I'm really enjoying Witches of East End. I think that's it's hilarious, and Killian is possibly the most beautiful man in the world, possibly. I loved Charmed growing up. Like, I have memories of being in like the family setting and having chicken and black bean and watching Charmed most weekends. What other witchy shows are there? There's Salem, which is okay, but I like the lighter ones. I don't care what that makes me. I like them though, and they're a bit of fun. I really enjoyed American Horror Story Coven, but I think unfortunately they didn't have enough time and the plot got a little bit frayed. I think if they'd have had 2 series or even more than that, they could have done an incredible job with it. What else? What other witchy series are there? I don't know, there must be tons and I can't. I'll probably look back on this later and go, oh my god, you forgot. But never mind. Have you ever doubted your path? Have I ever doubted my path? Yeah. When my life was falling apart because of all the stuff that I'd been through, and I was then with a guy whom... Oh, excuse me. That's terrible. It's the heat. It's not good. I can't have the windows open while we're doing videos because otherwise you will hear the rackets outside. And anyway, sorry. And I was with a guy who had been in love with on like my entire little life, and I got back with him, and he was Christian, and he basically said, I understand that you went to this to get through everything, but you've got me now. And I was still in such a bad place. I was beginning to wonder if like it was wrong, if I was doing something wrong, or... And him, who I had loved mine quite a long time, and so he obviously had influence at that point, and yeah, so I doubted it at that point. I got past that, and before that point and since that point I haven't, but that one point I did. And that's before I discovered the Morrigan and my connection to the Morrigan and everything, and since I discovered that, I know full on that there's not going to be any doubt. Good days, bad days, but no doubt. So, tag you're it! Many blessings.